Hello again. So I'm going to continue the course in information system development for the industrial and management engineering Hankook University of Studies. So still on chapter 2 about HTML basics, and we are going to continue to discuss about how to make forms. Okay, then the things we already did before was how to make tables, and now let's deal with the making forms. So forms is uh, something that you need to build to allow users to input the data, and the data will be from the web page. Okay, and how can we make the forms? Yeah, we're going to learn this. At the first, you need to know that forms are the primary method for gathering data from site visitors. So the way to create the form is using the tag form. As you might know that in table you need to make the tag table, but in the form you need to make the tag with form, and you need to define something more with the parameters like name or method, action, and so on. Okay? So if you are using the method, I will not discuss many things now. I will explain more about the method get and post because we are not using the server, so I cannot express this with example. The method can be post and get, and also the action. It means after you do some action, after you click a button, for example, then it will go to another page. So this is the action. So you are going to do the some script.html once you finish your form. Okay. Because we are not using the server first, then yeah, I will not discuss the action and the method, but I will just explain how can we make the forms and what kind of the HTML tag to create the forms. The first is to know about the input. Okay, the input means I would like to get the user's data. If the type is text, then yeah, we are going to get the input that as a text. Name is the name of the input itself, and value, this is the text, it is the original value or it is the initial value before the user input something. The multi-line or text area is the comment. We have the comments here. Text area means it is a multi-line text field, and in the input you can also have the type hidden. Okay, hidden means something that you cannot see, but it is in your code. Okay. You can also use the field cell. So the field cell actually it is the a set of the field that you want to create in the form. Let's say if you have the field set, okay, so the field set here is a set of the input. Okay, so the field set here, you have the input type text name, and you have another input text font. Legend is only the type of the or the title in the field set. This is another field set. Okay, this is another field set that represent the order detail. We have input type, and then we have the text area and another field set. Okay. So before I continue, maybe it's better to check this one. What is the result with the field set? So I'm going to use this Notepad++. Okay, let me close this all. Okay, so I will just save this one, and I will make it as a field set example.html. And yeah, I'm going to run this on field set example. Yes, you can see it. So this is the field set. Now it's not that clear because we just used the field set. Okay, you can see if it is the client details. Okay, the client details is the legend or the header of one field set, and the order details is the next field set, and it consists of two, which is the quantity. So I think this is the quantity, and the other is the text area. So the text area, it consists of multi-line. Okay, so multi-line means there will be many lines in the text area. Okay, so this is the simple explanation of the field sets. Once you have the field sets, then you can manage all the things in that set. Okay. So the legend is the field set's title. And in the input, you can control. Okay, what is the meaning by control? Control means you can ask the user to input the data based on the checkbox, or you want to ask the users to input based on the radio buttons. Okay? So you can use the checkbox, okay? The type checkbox. If the type is text, then you need to type it some string values. But if the type is checkbox, then you need to check. If it is radio button, then you need to click. So like the circle, so it is what we call as the radio button. Radio button can be allowing only one to be selected from a group. Let's say if you are making the type radio, so the name should be the same, but the value can be different. Okay, so we will check this one later. And the drop down menus, so the drop down menus is also a kind of control. You will have a selection. If you are making the option, you are male or female, then you want to make a drop down menus, then yeah, this is the way to make the drop down menus. Maybe it's better to show you the example. Yeah. Let me go to this one. Okay, it will be better for you to understand the example. And I guess this example consists of, yeah, there are 2 pages. Okay, so I will make this example is just for making you more understand with the concept of forms. Okay, it's very long, that's why I explain the concept first, but it will be much better if you know from the examples. Okay, so form example.html. Okay, the title does not affect the result now, so you can make your HTML file as you want. Okay, so from examples, if you run this, okay, this is the result. So you have the field set. Okay, let's see one by one. So we have the field set here. Yeah, the method and the action is meaningless for now because you are not using the server. Okay, and what about the input? Okay, input name equals to subject and type hidden. Because it is hidden, so you cannot see. Actually, there is one variable with this subject, but you cannot see it because it is hidden. And then you can see there is one field set. Okay, what is the field set here? The field set has one legend, academic information. Okay, we have label. What is label? Okay, let's see. What is label? Yeah. So label is it is an explanatory text. It will use it will be used to explain what is the text. Let's say I want to input first name, then you need to make the label first name. So people can understand that you need to input the first name. Or if you want to input, if you want users to input the last name, then you need to put the label last name. Okay. So clicking on the label focuses is associated field. Okay. If you are making the label, then it means you're just focus on one field. Checkboxes are toggled. Radio buttons are checked. Okay. Labels are both a usability and accessibility feature and are required in order to pass accessibility validation. Okay, so you need to make sure that the input is valid. Then you need to make the label. That's why here, yeah, I want to make the label for the degree. Okay, after I have the label degree, then yeah, I would like to select. Okay, what is the select here? Yeah, we already I already explained a little bit about select, but so let's see the detail. So in this case, select is the drop-down menu. Okay, whether you want to select the gender, now we have gender, and you have value two, value one is male, and value two is female, value three is other. Oops, other. It seems impossible to have the other gender instead of male and female, but okay, I just want to keep this one example. Yeah. The selected means the first menu that it is the initial value. Okay. Now, if you check this in the result, in the web, then you can see this degree. Okay, you have Bachelor of Art, Bachelor of Science, or Master of Business Administration. So because this is the drop-down menu, this is the option. Okay, if you see this, the first is Master of Business Administration. So what does it mean? Okay, you can check this one. The selected. Okay, the selected. If you select the first one, okay, if you selected this option, then every time you start the page, the drop-down menu will show Master of Business Administration at the first time. Okay, and the other option can be just the next option. So even though this is the first, and this is the first, and this is the second, but yeah, the third has been set as the initial value. So the initial value will appear at the first time, and the other option will follow the next one. So this one is the field set, yeah. And after the drop-down menu, I go to the next line, and there is one label, student ID. And the student ID is a type of password. What is password? Okay, the password input is a text field which must enter text with star. Okay, if you know, if you go to the Google, or if you go to Yahoo or any web mail addresses, okay, so you have your ID and you have your password, and every time you input your password, there will be star 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 star. It means nobody can see, or it is in hidden. It's the same with the idea. So you need to set the type password. So the type password means I want to put it as a star. So here, if I input two, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so everything is in the star. Okay, you cannot see what this is. And you can go to the next. Yeah, we have the input type password and finish. Now we are going to go to the next field set. Okay. In the next field set, we start again with the label, the label first name. Now we are going to put the input text, and the text, so you have the name, F name, and the ID F name, and we have the L name for the label, and then the type is also text, and then this is L name and ID L name. Okay? So ID is something unique. You need to define the uniqueness of that particular input, and the name, it is the name of the input itself. So you will use that name in your code later with the Django. So you need to be precise about the name and about the ID. And you need to set this one at the first time in your form so you can connect it with Django later. Now I have another option. This one is PR. PR means you go to the next line, and we have gender. What is gender? Here we have the input, gender, and type radio. Okay, this is good example, right? Yeah, we have the type radio. What is the type radio? Okay, as I mentioned to you, now we are making the same name. Actually, the name should be unique, but we are making the same name because we are making the radio button. Only one should be selected. So if you are male, then you cannot be female. If you are female, you cannot be male. Then you need to select only one. So that's why the name should be the same, and the type is radio, but the ID is different. GM to represent M and GF to represent female. Okay? So if you go to the web, yeah, you can check this one. Now this is text. So Bernardo, and maybe my last name is Yahya, and then male. Okay, how about you? Okay, you cannot select both, so you can select only one. Okay, the next is label for email. Okay, again, I would like to put it as text. Okay, the text is, yeah, text. You need to define the string, and then the name is email and ID is email, and then you have the field set. After the field set, you have the text area. Okay, the text area names terms and column 30 row 4. So it means you have the 30 columns and there are 4 rows. It is read only, so you can read but you cannot type, or you cannot change the content. There is another type of input which is submit and reset. Submit means once you okay with a form, then you can go to another page. You can execute another comments. You can execute another statements. So because it is not a server, so I cannot show you the example. We will learn more about this submit. And reset means I want to clear the form. So I want to change all the contents back to the original value. Okay. So if I check this one, okay, term and condition. So you cannot change. Okay. So when you type anything, you cannot change. If you make your email, blah 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 blah. Okay, it shows your email. And if you okay, because send form is not necessary. Yeah, if I change this one, for example, Bachelor of Art. Okay, now I want to clear form. So you can see everything has been deleted, and then it clears all the text and it back to the original. Okay, so this is the result from the form. Okay, and this is still a simple form. Of course, when you do with your later for the project, you need to make a more complicated. And if you use the JavaScript, of course, the other forms will need more efforts to make the detail and how can you connect this form into the database and so on. Okay? The last part that I want to explain for the HTML basic is the frames. Okay? You know that the web page can consist of many parts, so we call it as frames. The frame here, okay, the frame here, yeah, you can define by yourself. So we are having the three things. The first is frame set, and the other is frame and iframe. I will just explain. I will explain only frame set and frame, and I will leave iframe for your future studies. Okay? So the frame is something like this one. You can define where is your top and left and right frame and etc. So you can make your own frame. The frames provide a way to show multiple HTML documents in a single web page. Let's say I have the list of web pages, and then I want to connect with the other HTML file. So you can combine two HTML files into one. The page can be split into separate views. So the frame is only splitting the views, horizontal, vertical. Frames were popular in the early age of the HTML, but now their usage is rejected. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know why it is rejected, but you need to know the basic idea of the frames, because later on, maybe you need to use the frames, or nowadays is using the single page application. Maybe the usage of frame is not that popular. Even though it's not that popular, I think I will explain. Yeah. Frames are not supported by all users, agent, browsers, engine, etc. So no frame element is used to provide content for non-compatible agents. Maybe you need to understand the basic first. If you want to use it, you can use, or if you continue with the other frames content, then you may use also the other frames content. Okay. Now I would like to use this example. Um, yeah, this example is a very simple example about a frame. Let me make a new one. Yeah, this is about frames. Oh, is it frames? I forgot. Yes, frames. Okay. Mm, frames.html. And after I have this, you can see here the frame examples. Okay, I will show you. Okay, I will show you. So I have frames. If I run this, it will show nothing. Okay. So it shows like this one. It shows nothing because you don't have the file. You don't have the left .html, you don't have the middle .html, and you don't have the right .html. So let's make it. Let's make it very simple. P left, okay, and then P and left.html. And then you have P right, and then let's say I want to make it as the right.html, and I have another part which is P middle. Okay, so I have three more files, which is right, left, and middle, and I want to make it into one frame. Okay, so you can see what happened if I make the frames. Yeah, you can see now we have left, we have middle, and we have right. And this one is also adjustable. Okay, you can change this one, you can change this one. If you check the code, yeah, the frame set is the top, this one. Okay, and then you can see the columns. The columns has 180px and then star and then 150px. So the left will be this one, this size, and the right will be this size, and the middle is the remaining. Okay, so I forgot, it depends on your size in your computer. Some computer has 1280 pixel, or some computer has only 680. It depends on your computer size. So this size will determine the size of the web page. Okay? If the left part is 180, the right part is 150, then the middle will be the remaining, something like that. Now we can also do with very complicated frames. Okay, let's see this one. Mm, So if I connect with the frame demo 2, frame demo 2.html. Okay, I need to have one more file which is head. Okay, let's see. I make a head. Head. So I save and then I make it HTML. Now I can run the demo 2, frame demo 2. Okay, you can see the head is in the top, and then you have this head. You can adjust the frame. Yeah, you can just frame the left and right. Yeah, and let's see what they said. Yeah, you have the frame set. Okay, you have the frame set here, and the rows is 100 comma star. Oh, what does it mean? So the top header frame with the head 100 pixel. So this will be the head. Okay, and oops, it's very difficult to type this one. So this will be the head, and this will be the next. Okay, you can see there are two, first and the second. So the first is the head.html. It will be the size of 100 pixel of the header, and the remaining will be star. So what is the remaining? The remaining will be a frame set. Okay, what is the frame set? Has the column 200 comma star. Okay, what does it mean? 200 means the left frame, and the right frame will be the remaining. So we have one frame, this is the left, then the size is 200 from the left, and the other frame, it is the right, and the right is having star. So star means the remaining of the size. So from this example, you can combine rows and columns, and you can set the size according to your frame set and according to the frame, how many frames you want to put into the HTML files. Okay, I think that's all for this course. This is the chapter 2 about the HTML basic, and next we will learn about Django. And before you go to the next, I hope that you already have your Python, because we are going to use the Python, and I will explain also how you can install Django. And I also explained to you at the first time. I hope that you already have your PyCharm. So we are going to use PyCharm. Hopefully you already have your PyCharm, so we can execute it easily. Then thank you very much, and see you in the next video.